so I started working with the Broncos. The year that I had Von Miller just happened to be 2015, which ended up being the Super Bowl 50 run for the Broncos.
Shotgun snap, drops back. We got one more time to set everybody up. In the pocket is Newton. He pumps the ball's knocked out of his hands.
Incredible. I don't know if I've seen a defense put together a performance like that, starting with Von Miller.
The storyline has been all about Peyton Manning in what may be the final game of his Hall of Fame career. They have just won Super Bowl 50, and the Lombardi Trophy is coming home to the Mile High City.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is Andy. I'm here today with my boy Chris. Chris has helped me over this last year in my fitness journey. If you've been following me on social media, and I'm sure my team will share some B-roll pictures right now of my transformation, I couldn't have done it alone. Everybody needs a coach. Today, I'm introducing you to Chris, which by the way, he just trains NFL football players. He helped the Broncos win the Super Bowl. He's done all kinds of cool, crazy stuff from the Women's Olympics to everything. And now he helps transform and change men's life over 1 year to become unrecognizable, build superhero bodies, but most importantly, recreate, reinvent. And I love it. And so he takes men on for 1 year and he runs with them. And so and by the way, during this video, if you're like, man, dude, I want to roll with this guy, there's going to be a link down in the description box. You guys can click on it to apply to run with him for 1 year. He's not very expensive. He changes people's lives. He's one of the most God-loving human beings I've ever met in my life. Great father, great dad, great man, unreal. So I love you, bro. Thank you for helping me change my life, and thank you for investing in so much in other people. But he is a wizard of fitness. Everybody does things a little bit different in their own way. This guy's way works. So Chris, I would like over the next 20 minutes to just rain fire from when you were young to what you do now, and some of the things that you've been a part of, and some of the highlight reels is the things that you've been a part of in your life right now.
Got it. Well, Andy, thank you so much for having me. I love you so much. I love this team. So we want to be doing something special for the Elliott Group as well. And so that's why we're doing this offer here today and trying to share what we have to offer. So yeah. I grew up, a lot of my drive honestly came from being really the only man in the household. I didn't really have dad around. I became the man of the house at 12 years old, so it's kind of a pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Everyone always thinks that athletes or the jack people, they just all about genetics. Well, no, I was actually the fattest kid in my class in 4th grade. What changed my life though, I actually grew up here in Scottsdale in the 123-degree blazing heat, was the hardest but the best thing that ever happened to me because Pop Warner, being that it's weight and age, coaches said, if you want to play for us, you have to lose weight. And coaches had me out on the field in the tracksuit, sweating, hyperventilating, pouring water down the back of my neck in the huddle. Fortunately, made weight. I was the big fat right tackle and loved every minute of it. And it literally changed me because I remember thinking, I never want to feel this horrible again. And I don't know where this drive came. Again, this was 4th grade. But every year I would run, I would do pull-ups, push-ups, whatever I could do. There was a field out behind my apartment where my mom and I lived. And I would just go and do whatever I could. And every year I got leaner, I got faster, I got taller. And by the time I was in 8th grade, scored my first touchdown as a tight end. We ended up winning state championships out here in football. Through another, had a short time with a stepdad, through another divorce. Again, that was when I was 12, moved out to Indiana, where I was born, back to Indiana. And by the time I was a freshman, I had my growth spurt. So I was actually the height I am now, but barely 140 pounds sopping wet. So now I was the fastest kid on the team.
Wow.
And I had hands, I had everything. I had this athleticism that I built, but had no strength. And so I remember as a freshman, I could bench press 95 pounds. And so what do all the football coaches want? They want bigger, faster, stronger. Even though I was a 3-sport athlete, football, baseball, and wrestling, I was actually our #1 pitcher as a freshman, already throwing for varsity. I had about an 83-mile-per-hour fastball, left-handed, so all of that was kind of progressing. So I had built this skill, but I had no strength. So with the bigger, faster, stronger mentality, we didn't have coaches though. Coaches, I love my coaches, great-hearted coaches. You know, they were my father figures, but knew nothing in the weight room, and it was atrocious what we did. What do I do most do? Okay, let's go and bench press. And so I eventually had these kind of shoulders. So I went from bench pressing 95 pounds to 225 by the time I was a sophomore. Problem was I got caught in wrestling in a chicken wing, which kind of popped my shoulder. Now I had this kind of like loose, sloppy shoulder. And then I went into my baseball season as a sophomore. I was at first base, took a ground ball, went to throw across the diamond. All these muscles contracted, literally dislocated my shoulder. And I was out. I went to the doctors at Notre Dame there. I was in Elkhart, Indiana, so we went to the doctors in Notre Dame. They said, okay, you tore your rotator cuff, your labrum. When it dislocated, it took a chunk out of the head, the humerus. And that's why I would literally wake up and I'd be doing the Mel Gibson, like Lethal Weapon thing, like putting it back in. So they said, we got to tighten up your shoulder. And so I go, okay, as a sophomore in high school, I said, if you tighten up my shoulder, am I going to lose range of motion? They said, yeah, more than likely. I said, well, how is that going to help me pitch again? They're like, well, you might not. I said, well, then why would I want your surgery? And again, I'm a sophomore in high school, which seems to be more logic than what these orthopedic surgeons had. And so what does every surgeon say when you don't want to do their surgery? Well, go try physical therapy. So back then is do this band exercise that everyone's always done.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. And I was like, this isn't helping me. I didn't even know what a rotator cuff was. And this is before internet. So I went to the library, got all the microfiche things, and I was reading anatomy books. And I started learning about anatomy as a sophomore in high school. And I realized, hey, there's these 4 small muscles that they're talking about, this rotator cuff, and they're expecting me to strengthen this, and it's supposed to decelerate an 83-mile-per-hour fastball. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I started looking at the body as a whole, and I started seeing like, okay, if these muscles are attached to the scapula here, but all these big muscles, this looks like an anchor. How come no one's talking to me about all of these? So looking at the anatomy, I went to the gym and I started figuring out how to do things that no one else was teaching me. And by the time I was a junior, I was back playing first base. And then by the time I was a senior again, I was pitching. And then I ended up walking on at Purdue University. But the problem was that I never regained my full velocity. And even though I was bigger, faster, stronger, now I'm a freshman in college, 193 pounds, same height, benching 335, squatting, all this stuff now with more balance. And yet I couldn't get that velocity back that I had as a freshman. And that's what started teaching me about neurology. So I went on a neurology quest, and that's a bigger part of the story. And I'm actually not going to get into all that here right now, but it really just shows that I started seeing the bigger picture from a very young age. Plus I had a sense of urgency. And as you know, nothing great changes without a strong sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. And that's how I even got my first job. I remember at 19, I actually worked my way into position, ended up training the U.S. Olympic women's 8 and quad rowing teams. Then I ended up, once my kind of athletic career fizzled out in college, ended up doing strength and conditioning. So I was training guys. I paid for grad school at Purdue as a strength and conditioning coach, was rehabbing shoulders really fast. That's how I ended up with the Colorado Rockies, and that's what took me to Colorado. And then there's all bunch of stories with the Rockies there. And then once I decided I didn't want to be on that kind of travel schedule, that's when I settled in Colorado Springs. 2004, created Dunamis. I always like that name because Dunamis basically means the power to perform miracles. For the Greek people out there,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pronounced Dunamis, but I think Dunamis sounds better. But I always saw the human as the miracle. Again, I've always had this faith in Christ. I always believe that we are the pinnacle of His creation and that we give ourselves far too little credit. Yeah. And we just focus on one element when we need to focus on the whole. And that's where my program actually evolved, because when we were just focused on the physiology, people were still failing. Like I started seeing this when I started working with NFL guys. Like there were some amazingly freak athletes out there, but yet they couldn't perform on the field. And that's because they didn't understand psychology. They didn't understand how to control their emotions. Or some of them just had no purpose whatsoever. They were just like there for the money or something. And every one of them kind of fizzle out, or they never reach their potential. And I've always been about stewardship. So that's been a big part of the drive and kind of what led me to where I am today. And I would say the big kind of highlight, the breakout year, so when I opened up Dunamis, ended up working with a lot of the high school kids. I wanted to give back because I was that high school kid that always had that question, like if I could have trained better, if I had better knowledge, experience, coaching. Who knows how far I could have gone? And we always have the proverbial, if I'd known then what I know now kind of stories, right? And so I wanted to give that to high school kids. So I loved actually working with a lot of the high school teams. I worked with a lot of the area teams and built relationships with them. I opened up a brick and mortar Dunamis in Colorado Springs, operated that for for a long time. And it was that idea to pour back. And through that, like I ended up training some junior high kids that I took them all the way to the NFL. And their dad happened to be an NFL agent. So he saw what I could do with them. And so he started sending his NFL guys to me. So I started working with the Broncos. And then from that, just word of mouth, ended up, once I had Von Miller, I had everybody. And the year that I had Von Miller just happened to be 2015, which ended up being the Super Bowl 50 run for the Broncos. And what was really cool, it wasn't just because I was using my neurological training to heal guys fast and helping them on the field with performance-wise, but the bigger part was guys were coming in for the mental coaching and the psychology and the other things of what they really failed at. And when they started seeing how it all fit together, then I had the buy-in, then I had the camaraderie. And that's just why even when people think about like what makes an NFL team go all the way to the Super Bowl, I mean, one, it's health, because if they're injured, they're not going to make it through the playoffs. But number two, it's things like what happens in the locker room, the camaraderie and that kind of stuff. And so Vaughn would actually set up shop at his home. He had kind of a famous, cool party basement, whatever. And every Monday after the games, he would just throw a big shindig for the defense. Again, he wanted that team camaraderie, all of that kind of stuff. And he'd have me set up shop over in the corner, and guys would just filter through one at a time, and I would take care of them, and I'd get them ready from week to week, all the way to the point where they all had me come to the Super Bowl with them. Highlight was, flying back with the Broncos on the plane after the Super Bowl win, celebrating with them and doing all that. And then once guys, after a Super Bowl win, guys get other contracts, other teams, and that's how my name proliferated throughout the entire NFL. That's how I got guys like Odell Beckham Jr., Chase Young, Montez Sweat. There's a whole bunch of guys working with me right now. But I would say the big highlight is the longevity. Again, I've been training Vaughn since that 2015 year. So that's 11 years now that we've been together. Odell, I've had him when he got his first big ankle injury with New York. He had got my name through Brandon Marshall, the receiver. I had actually both Brandon Marshalls. And I guess one little story about that is that I was actually in LA training one of my other NFL guys. He's in New York. He gives me a call, said, hey, I hear you're the guy. I want you to come work with me. And I go, okay, cool, but here's the deal. And I say this in the first 30 seconds. I go, the moment I care more for you than you care for yourself, I won't work with you. I don't care about the catch. I don't care about how many billboards you're on or how famous you are or what all the hoopla and the drama is. I care about you. I care about the people I work with. And that's really been one of the deciding factors is the people that work with me, they know how passionate I'm in. I'm like, the only thing I ask is like, I will light the fire, but you have to run. And if I start running ahead of you, I'm not gonna drag you. I go, this is the thing. We're gonna run this together. We're gonna link arms. But again, it's like when Jesus says, be equally yoked. Like, I'm gonna bring my skill set, but you're gonna bring the fullness of you, and we're gonna run that yoke, and we're gonna plow some fields together. But if you're going here and we're going here, it's not gonna work. And this is why so many people fail. They don't have purpose, they don't have direction, they don't understand how all the parts fit together. And they're too individually, they have one good thing. Again, that surgeon, there's a time and a place for surgery, but he only has a scalpel. That's his only tool in his toolbox. Again, the chiropractor looks at this part of the anatomy. The physical therapist looks here, the massage therapist, and they don't realize that sometimes it's not the tool that's the problem, it's using the right tool at the wrong time or in the wrong way. And so I had to learn how it all fits together because everything comes back to human design. And no one looks at design anymore.
Well, let me say this. This is super important. By the way, guys, listening to Chris, you can tell he's fired up. He loves this. He's and I would say geeked out, obsessed, right, with this. He's extreme. If you're watching this, if you're 30, 40, 50, or 60 years old, okay? I'm sure you could be a 21-year-old, but he likes to work with normally older people, 30, 40, 50, and you have a lot of athletes. I watch you every day training younger athletes. People that want to transform, change their bodies completely. Injury, a lot of people stop working out and then they lose their shape and their weight and their physical because they've got injured. This guy understands injury like no other. He has lived in this space. He went through it and then he studied it your entire life. How old are you right now?
I'll be 49 in May.
Yeah, you got to think about it, guys. He's been running this play for the last 35 years of his life, which is unreal. But importantly, he takes on 100 men for 365 days. For 1 year, he runs with 100 men. And every week, he works with them every day. They have his personal number and helps them work and build their dream body, their dream life, become, uninjured, become their most healthiest self and recreate. And so I just want to say, if you're watching this right now, if you've been waiting for the opportunity, if you've been putting it off, if you've been procrastinating, if you're in great shape, but you want that edge, right? Like he's talking about, like the guys that he works with, his programs are unreal. I run through them. They're unreal. From food to what you do, but also having the right coach in your corner who understands you and your body. Make sure you guys go down. There is a link down there, and it says basically apply to coach with him. 1 year. 1 year will change the rest of your life for the rest of your life. And I don't know how old you are. I don't know how long you've been putting it off. I don't know what excuses or low self-limiting beliefs or like why you've been putting it off or why you're not your best self yet. But I'm telling you, if you want your shot, this guy did it with me, he can do it with you, okay? And so if you're equally yoked, if you're like, dude, I want to find someone who cares about me, right? But then I'm ready to also, ready to put it in, this is it. Click that link and apply with him, and he'll reach out to you personally. So let's keep rolling.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk to that guy out there that you might be 45 years old and you're thinking, well, Chris, I'm not one of your NFL guys. Everyone gets this preconceived notion that if you're not an athlete, then that action figure body's not for you, or you just don't have it, or maybe you tried and it worked for a couple weeks and then you fell off. And that's why I do the full year. I'm not just doing a 12-week program like everyone else does. This is not a quick hit dopamine kind of thing. This is a true lifestyle change. Life happens over time. And the older you get, and this is why I've transitioned. Like, again, I love high school kids because I want to give them the shot. I think one of the worst things ever is regret or looking back and asking that haunting question, what if? What if I did it? And you don't want to get to your end of life and look back and say, what if? That is, and I'm trying to keep people from that. At the end of the day, it's on you then. It's not because you didn't have the choice. Everyone today watching this, you have the choice. I'm giving you the choice, but you have to want it. Number two, I've transitioned from me being an athlete to a broken athlete, which is why I ended up healing athletes, but that showed me that we are all the same. And that's the thing. People think, oh no, Odell Beckham, he's just different. Well, he has a higher ability in, let's say, genetics, but it's all about what you actually tap into. A car can be super fast, but if you never take it out of the garage, you never know. And so we never give ourselves enough credit, but it's not like he has a third hamstring. The way I can get him faster, and I actually made him, when he came to me, he was already in the NFL, but I made him faster because I worked on things that no one else was working on, because people, they just get tunnel vision. They're sheep. And we want to look at the whole. And when you train the whole, you get better. And that's why for my busy executives, because what's the number one executive? Oh, everyone's like, I have no time.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's you have not the right priorities and you don't have the right system. And here's the thing, everyone else has to think like, oh, if I want to be the action figure, then I have to spend 8 hours a day in the gym like the bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Andy's busy.
Yeah.
He is crushing every single day. He doesn't have hours to put in the gym,
That's right.
which means he has to be very finite and direct with what he does, and we tailor that to exactly where you are. And that's what we're gonna do for you too, and think about it, my NFL guys, they don't have time to be in the gym like bodybuilders either. They have to be on the field. They don't get paid to bench press, they get paid to catch footballs or to throw baseballs or to make basketball hoops. That's where they get paid. That's their business. And so that's where they spend the majority of their time. So I had to get them exceptional results in very short amount of time. If a guy calls me on a Sunday night because he got injured in a game and goes, Chris, you have to fix me, I don't have 8 weeks to fix him. I have 7 days to fix him. So we have to be focused on what works and you complete that system. And this is why I can get the results. And it doesn't matter. I had a 65-year-old woman. She came to me at 363 pounds, all these medical conditions. No one wanted to touch her because they were too afraid of her medical conditions. Doctors don't know health, they know sickness. Within 3 months, I had her down to 300 pounds. Wow. And I've had other guys, Josh was one of my guys. gosh, he was almost 375 pounds. Now he's 200 pounds. And now he can play with his kids.
75 pounds.
Yeah, he was, it was remarkable.
It's cutting his body in half.
Yeah, literally. I mean, he was literally cutting, because he couldn't even, like, he was watching his young kids play on the beach and he couldn't play with them.
Yep.
Now again, he had money though. Okay, so he worked, he had money, he had success, but he was hiding behind that success, and inwardly he felt like crap. He felt like he was a loser. He felt like his wife didn't want him. He felt like, hey, what is he gonna do? What is his examples to his kids? That's one of the reasons why I love you and I love this whole group. You guys are examples to your kids, and you have a brotherhood that comes alongside. We were just watching videos of your son today doing some amazing, remarkable things. It's my dream. And to do that though, you can't be the father you are without your health. You can't be the businessman without your health. You can't be all of that if you don't have the focus, if you didn't have a purpose. You are getting so much more done now because your purpose has gotten so relentless and pinpoint. You know the direction, you have your North Star, and that keeps you going. Yes. And that is what I want to walk with people for. And we keep that going. And so when you have those bad days, and a lot of people fail because they get this program and it works only if they can do it perfectly. Life's not perfect. You have busy days, you have your calls, you get sick, all of a sudden it's like your wife needs you, all of a sudden your kid's got this going on, and it's tough. And so people don't know how to roll with the punches. And that's a big part of the coaching, is understanding, like, sometimes you're at DEFCON 5 and life is great and all the world's peaceful. But what happens when you're at DEFCON 3 and now all of a sudden you're looking over your shoulder, or DEFCON 1 and now you're in nuclear war in your life? And I've gone through that, and that's the thing, at 49 years old, I still work out with my NFL guys set for set, rep for rep, because I want to show them what is actually potential. And if I say, hey, if I can do it, there's no excuse for you guys not to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have a lot more resources than me. They are a professional athlete, so they get to do that. I have to do what I do with a limited amount of time and resources, because I still have to do all the other things. And at the same time, you know, I have to be able to get that results in everyone's life, no matter if they're businessmen, if they're sick, if they're this, they're that. And so again, having that consistency over time, having the coaching on how are you going to go around this. Sometimes you bust through obstacles, through walls, sometimes you go around them, sometimes you dig under them, sometimes you jump over the top of them. Yeah. The whole key is how do I get to the other side? And a lot of professionals, they haven't lived it. Matter of fact, Chase Young right now is still in the NFL, and he had a great season this year. He's in the NFL, honestly, because I went through the same injury, and there's a whole story behind that injury, but because I ended up going through that injury, rehabbing myself, when he came back, people thought, oh, he just had an ACL. No, he completely splayed open his patellar tendon. And a lot of people don't know that. Dr. Andrew said it was probably one of the top 5 worst knee injuries he had ever seen.
Wow.
And he didn't know if he was gonna make it back. He didn't have the heart to tell Chase because he wanted him to have hope. But that's why Dr. Andrew sent him to me, and he didn't stay with the Washington Commanders at the time. Matter of fact, that was a whole fun ordeal because they wanted, of course, their asset to be with them. And Dr. Andrews told them, no, if you want him healthy, he needs to stay with Chris. And obviously he did, and he's playing great. And it's because I went through it, and I looked back at my own experience and said, all right, what did I do really well? What could I have done even better? And it's because of the what could I have done even better that Chase is playing today and doing awesome. And that's how I have been with every different facet, because a lot of guys, they weren't failing, again, because they weren't physical enough. They were failing on some other cylinder, and therefore their spark plugs were dying out.
You know what I love is that you're so well educated, okay? Like, honestly, if you want to change your life, you want the smartest coach you can. You want someone that has dealt with thousands of different types of people. The reason why is because every human is different. I mean, honestly, like, every person's metabolism is different. Every person has these little weird quirks about them, you know, that you know, they're like, yeah, but I don't work like this or that. But you've dealt with so many different people, high-level people, normal people, that when someone tells you what's going on, you figure out the root cause of that issue and you pull that root.
Yeah.
You figure it out. So you don't just like Band-Aid. Like, honest, like, I'm gonna say this, like, most people don't really understand. They're just theory. They've learned it online, right?
Out of some book, out of some text.
And so that's Band-Aiding it. They can give a little release, a little Band-Aid. A chiropractor, you go and say, pop you, feel better. You walk out, you're still hurt, right? But you really meet someone that has worked on thousands of patients, that's, you know, been in the game for 35 years. I mean, dude, it's like the Tony Robbins of like psychology, right? Or, you know, like, it's like they've seen it all. They've worked on it. They've been in it. dude, that person can really fix you. Really fix you. And so, you know, I want everybody to know, because we'll finish off the last couple minutes here, is I don't know who you are, and I don't know where you're at, and I don't know what you look like, and I don't know what you feel. When you wake up in the morning, do you wake up out of bed and you're like, man, I feel freaking amazing? Or do you wake up and you're like, man, my back hurts a little bit, I got this, and then that's the thing holding you back. Chris is not a diet coach. He's not the workout plan coach. He is the jack of all trades dude that understands it all, from injuries to why you feel this way, to I mean, and you talk about like even science, you know, a good buddy of mine is Gary Brecka, you know, like when he really gets into it, he will turn into an Andrew Huberman and Gary Brecka. He'll really go deep into that stuff. And I want to know that when I'm working with somebody, that they can figure this out with me. That's the biggest thing, Chris, is that when someone coaches with you, when they say, all right, I'm ready to change my life, I want to change my body, I want to do this, the thing that they got to know is that you can figure them out. That's it. And the reason why they're not where they want to be is because no one has figured them out, and they haven't figured themselves out. And honestly, the level of accountability that you carry with them, but the loving mannerism that you give people too, which is that Christ-like love that you give people, is amazing. Because, you know, you're a really, you know, great coach, but you're not that hard, tough coach that's this way. You're actually a loving coach that gets great results. I love it. Like, just being around you, a lot of you, you've heard his energy, but also you can feel the presence of the spirit of like the ability that he has been given by God to want to help people. You know what I mean? And so I just want to say, if that's you, if you're watching this, when I was talking to Chris and he's building this incredible coaching company, helping so many, matter of fact, he's been coaching for 30 years. But it's like, dude, and he's changed my life. I'm like, I have got to share you with the world. Mm-hmm. I know all of you out here right now, I know you want to make a lot of money. I got that. You know how to make a lot of money? Take really good care of yourself. Dude, your body's your brand. It really is. It's your brand. It's the way you carry yourself, how you walk around, how you feel. You're a billboard, right, Chris?
And it's the only thing you can't get back.
You can buy a new car. You only get one body in your life,
you can buy a new car, you can buy a new house, you can rebuild. If your business goes bankrupt, you can build a new business.
Yes.
If you bankrupt your body,
dude,
that's it.
Think about this. Yeah, he just said it. You get one body, you get one mind. When you fix your body, it also fixes your mind, right? And I know you talk about, you know, why these guys have stayed with you, you know, for 11 years, 15 years, like why they never go away. It's because, Chris, you don't just fix their body, like you're fixing their mind. Like you're a part of their operating system in life now. Right. You know what I mean? And so I just, you know, I'm not speaking for you, but like I always say, it's, you know, it's not about what you say about yourself, it's about what other people say about you. If you guys have been following my channel, if you guys have been following me, I know you guys have seen me recreate. I know you guys have seen me change my life. I know you guys have seen, you know, me develop into a different person. It wasn't because I woke up and I knew everything. It was because I got involved with the coach, because I know I have one body, one mind, and I have one life. And I'm gonna have a lot of cars, I'm gonna have a lot of houses, and a lot of different things, but I'm gonna get one of these. Okay, and I need it to last a really long time.
They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, you talk about stories. So Brandon Marshall, I remember, here's a good way of even talking about around. Like Brandon Marshall, as he was getting towards the end of his career, and we're talking about the receiver now, he still had to take his wife out on a big anniversary. He's like, Chris, I got to do it with my wife, but I have to get ready for football. So I ended up traveling with him over to Europe, and I had to figure out workouts from a beach, from, you know, I mean, it's not like they had the kind of gyms we have here, but I was able to train him with very little equipment, very little time, because the rest of the time he was out with his wife doing the husband thing, and yet we could get this done. And he came back. I actually added 2 more seasons to his career, and he goes, man, Chris, he goes, if I paid you $1 million, you just added another $5 million to my wallet, because you added another 2 years to my career that I wouldn't have had if we hadn't done this work. And he goes, so I could have paid you $1 million and it still gave me, you know, a 5-time investment.
Yeah, and he got to stay a good husband.
He got to stay a good husband too, exactly.
Which is I think why would you want to make this change, right, in your life? Well, for yourself, obviously, you know, the more that you love yourself, the better you feel about you, the better you treat everybody else around you.
Yeah, it's momentum. It's a snowball.
Yeah, because but what about the people in your life, right? That pay, right? When you know you don't take care of yourself, right? You know, you talk about that dad that's on the beach that can't play with his kids.
Yeah, it's another form of selfishness, actually.
Yeah, you talk about the guy that doesn't, you know, that dies at 55 because he has a heart attack, because he doesn't really take it. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not gonna die. Yeah, you are, dude. Like, you don't understand. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, we watch it every freaking day. You know, you don't have as much time as you think you have. You know, I think a lot of people need to really wake up, and I think they need to realize that every freaking day matters. It really does. And if there was one thing that you could do, one thing that's free to do, is to take care of yourself. You know, it doesn't cost anything. It is free. You know what I've learned in life, honestly? Somebody was asking me, you know, Andy, you know, are you afraid to lose it all? And I was like, you know what I'm afraid to lose are actually the things that are free. Like, seriously, like, those are the things that scare the hell out of me. It's free to be a good father. It scares the hell out of me not to be a good dad. It's free to be a husband. It honestly scares the hell out of me for me and my wife to fall out of love, because I watch all the people that get hurt. I watch all these people when they get divorced and they walk away, how they live the rest of their life. It's free. You know what scares the hell out of me? To lose my health. It's free. That's why having you as a coach, getting a coach, is so important, because I know that I'm not that good at it. So I just need someone else to be on that journey with me, because this thing that's free, which is my health and my life, like, so many of us take it for granted. But we talk about what would it be like to lose the money. It's like, man, the things that I actually enjoy the most in my life, that I love the most, they're free. They're free. And so that's what I'm afraid to lose, is the free stuff. And the more I take care of that stuff that's free, actually, the more money I've made. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is. Well, sir, I mean, Jesus taught us that. I mean, everyone says, oh, but I need to, how many of you watching have truly, out of a servant's heart, work super hard for your families, for your businesses, for everyone else, and you feel empty? At some point, it goes away. You will break. And I've experienced this. This is where, again, I don't talk anything out of theory. There, like when it comes to my when it comes to my training, my neuro programs, there isn't anything that I haven't felt first, number one. That's why I do them with my guys, because I need to know. There's so many times where I'll get an exercise set up and I'm like, hold on, and I will physically do it, because I need to know how it feels, so I know, okay, that's good for you, and I know how to coach it now. But same thing when it comes to relationships, being a dad, being all these things. Like, I have failed. That's the thing. I have failed more times than most people have ever even tried.
Yes.
And because of that, and that's the thing, persistence is the only thing that you can control. That's why I love the Rocky movies. Sad now these high school kids don't even know Rocky. It blows my mind. Yeah. But I love the Rocky movies, and we all do. It's the American story. It's the human story. Yeah. Of not just, can you be awesome? You're not Ivan Drago. It's every time you get knocked down, can you get back up? Yeah. But there's a smarter way. You don't get back up and just walk into the next punch. Yeah. Next time you go, oh, that hurt. Next time I learn how to keep my hands up. Well, I've learned how to keep my hands up. I've learned how to throw better punches. I've learned how to do this better and start to punch back. Yeah. And that's where it's at, because, man, it's, I wish we could have, this is what I am passionate about. But going back to even what Jesus showed us is that the best servant ever taught us that you don't fill from an empty cup, you fill from the overflow. Which means if your cup is empty, you have nothing to give. If I said, Andy, I come to your house, I'm super hungry, and you're like, Chris, I would love to give you some food. I have nothing in the fridge. Well, you can't help my hunger. You have to have a full fridge to be able to offer me something. If you can't have health in yourself, if you can't have vitality, if you don't have the hard knocks to learn wisdom, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. A lot of people have knowledge. That's where everyone's buying the programs, because they want the knowledge, but they have no wisdom of how to actually walk it. So if you want to get, like, I didn't come to you for business advice because you had knowledge. I came because you've lived it. And you've gone through the ups and downs, and you share, and that's what I was looking for when I was talking to you. I didn't say, hey, show me all your success. I said, show me where you failed and how you overcame. That's what made you my coach.
That story helps you build your own story. Yeah, because we live humans off watching other humans win or fail and struggle. Guys, Chris talked about filling your cup, okay? He said, if you fill your cup, you help people through the overflow. This is the overflow. This is it. And you can't help anybody with an empty cup. And you know what I know is that the times that I was losing in my life is because I didn't love me. If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't, you can't love you. You can have all the materialistic things in the world, but if you don't like you, you can't help anyone else, and you can't help, you can't show love to anyone else when you don't have love. You can't give someone what you don't have.
That's it.
And so, yeah, you manufacture this through this. Okay? And so I want to end this here, and I want to say that if you're watching this, okay, one message, one video, one YouTube video, can change your entire life, okay? Now, if you've watched this today just for entertainment, right, and you're like, oh, I watched this, and then you get off this and you don't change your behavior, you don't make a decision, and you don't change anything, it just shows that you really don't want a different life. And honestly, whatever it is that you say that you want, you're never gonna get. You're never gonna get it. But if you watch this today, and right now, you're like, I'm ready to make a decision. I'm ready to change my behavior. I'm ready to change my life. This is my wake-up call. This video is the awakening. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down to the description box below. I want you to fill out, there's gonna be a link right there where you can apply to train with Chris. 100 people he takes for 365 days, 1 year. Changes every part of their life, the way they look. Obviously, it changes your mind. It feeds into everything else in life. And you roll with him personally. As a matter of fact, it won't be anyone else reaching out to you. It'll be Chris himself. He takes this stuff very personal. Everything that he does is one-on-one, which is why I love it, which is why I do it with him. And so if you'd like to change your life like I have, right now, you guys can go down, you can click on that link, you can apply to work with him. It's unreal, very inexpensive, and it is life-changing, and it's for a whole year. Guys, if that's you, I love you. This is your chance. Chris, I appreciate you, man. I mean it. You've been a huge part of my life. I know that we help each other in, what we're good at. And I'm sharing Chris now with you guys. Okay? So go down, click on that link. If that's you, if you're ready to roll and go to the next level in life, he's helped me change my life. Now we can help you change yours. We'll see you in the next video. Chris, love you. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Let's get it.